It's hard to believe James Gunn was dropped from Marvel 6 years ago because of some edgy tweets. Since then, he's directed one of the better DC movies in the last decade, concluded the Guardians trilogy, and become co-head of DC. DC as a company has been scrambling, trying to keep up with Marvel's success for what seems like a couple of decades at this point, churning out movies that go from meh to The Fault in Our Stars level bad. I myself pretty much clocked out of watching anything superhero related after having to sit through Wonder Woman 2, Electric Boogaloo, in the pandemic. But because I'm a crack addict for the movie theater, I unfortunately also watched The Flash a couple of years ago and Joker 2, Electric Boogaloo. But since James Gunn came into the fold, I was really hopeful that new DC movies would be a breath of fresh air. So, how did Superman pan out? It was good. Certainly not the best movie I've ever seen, but I don't think it was supposed to be. In terms of a family-friendly superhero movie, I think it does its job very well. It's funny, quirky, lighthearted, and really hopeful, with some good action on the side. David Corenswet is for sure the best version of Superman I've ever seen, though that's not saying much. But he really embodies the character extremely well, coming off as a real softie with a big heart. There's a great scene in here where he's trying to fight off a monster while doing as little damage to the city as possible, making sure nobody gets hurt. At one point he even saves a squirrel from being crushed, and it's really emphasized how much he cares about everyone being safe. The rest of the cast does a really great job. Lois Lane feels fleshed out, even though the color of her hair feels out of place. Nathan Fillion as the Green Lantern does a phenomenal job. Mr. Terrific is portrayed really well, and all the side characters killed it. There's another journalist played by Skylar Gisondo that was really likable, and a couple of people I was just happy to see, like Wendell Pierce from The Wire and Anthony Carrigan as the Element Man. He was in Barry a few years ago. Dora was here too. She doesn't get to do much, but she was here. The only person I wasn't so crazy about was Lex Luthor, but I think that's more to do with the script than how the actor portrayed him. Visually, the movie's okay. It's extremely saturated, I think, to give it this old school comic book feel, and at times it does feel like there's a bit too much CGI slop, even though it's mostly done really well. The dog in particular I thought looked great throughout the movie, and he was a great addition to the film, adding a lot of levity and some emotional beats here and there. There were a few scenes I thought looked terrific. One at night with a lot of color in the background, and one towards the end when Superman and Lois Lane smooch. Overall, it was a fun watch. What I did find was missing was some time to breathe. The movie throws so much at you that you barely have time to really get to know Superman or the relationship he has with Lois Lane. But in the end, the movie made me really excited for what's to come. I think James Gunn has said a DC is a bold choice, and one that will really work out in the company's favor. In an interview, he said that what he really liked about comic books back in the day was how different artists put different spins on the same characters in the same universe, and that he wants to do the same for these movies going forward. That he doesn't want it to be homogenized. He wants the cinema-going experience to be special for kids specifically, to feel larger than life. And at that, I think he succeeds.